even though the heart, but the brain is also not the brain itself alone. It's also the bone marrow. We don't understand until now in our anatomy, which we study, we don't understand the connection between all of these things in the body. It seems to us that the brain, there are a lot of systems in it, and the brain is to be found in all kinds of places in the body. It's like its branches, its messengers in all parts of the body, without which he doesn't know what to do, how to operate. It's like in a state where you have representatives in all kinds of different places, and otherwise, if I don't have them, I won't be able to carry out what I want to do, and I do it through them. There's a microprocessor in the brain, but there's a question there. For now, let's say it's this way. But if we go deeper inside, we'll see that it's not in our body at all. A person becomes more airy. There's no mind. I mean, where does he receive all of his commands? What does he work according to? We begin to feel that he receives this from the environment. The environment operates him. When we will discover, I hope, in the near future, that the life of a person depends in his connection, in his willingness to be connected to the environment, and then his brain receives a command from the environment. And the more that this person, this cell, is necessary for the environment, and if not, no, just like in our body, millions of cells constantly die every moment, and instead of them, new cells come. It's the same with us in human society. If you are needed in some way, then you live, and once you're not necessary, then a command comes to the brain, and then we have all kinds of seeming causes or happenings, and in accordance to that, a person dies from his corporeal function or role. So let's go back to the brain, because this will certainly be a topic about which we will talk. So let's complete this discussion of the brain. We talked about the heart, let's go to the brain. You explained the basic principle of the correct functioning of the heart, where it needs to keep this balance between giving and receiving, and through that to have the heart flow to all of the organs in the body. Is there a super law by which the brain needs to operate in order to function properly? The brain operates correctly only if it feels the system that it's above it, that it's higher, according to which it needs to relate, to serve, to receive commands from. Because all in all, it's somebody's brain. It's just one cell. And this cell, this person, he has to be connected in its general sense to all the others and to nature. So the brain, ideally, it needs to know what is its private role in the general system. It needs to know the general system and in the way it relates privately to him, how to function in order to hold his place correctly in the general system, how to serve the general system. And in accordance to that, he operates its private body, the heart, the lymph system, the heart system. It doesn't matter what happens in the body, but this entire body is operating in accordance to how much it can be connected in the whole way to the general system. So then we, in our health, our bodily health, and not to mention our psychological, spiritual health, are completely connected and tied to others and to the entire universe. And all of these systems actually depend on each other. Our ego, this is what puts the malfunction into all of the systems, according to their levels, to the different cuts, whatever you do. So by a person correcting the way he relates to others, by that he actually causes the changes in his own systems in general. But we can't see this immediately because we're dependent on each other. And then until we all become corrected, then we can't really talk about healing in such a way of a private person. I understood that the system that you explain between the individual and society, that the individual, his brain needs to receive commands from the higher brain, the general brain. So in order for this understanding to that we understand this fully, I want to go back to the person's body to start with that and then to understand better the spiritual level. So brain seizures is one of the highest causes of death in Israel. So what happens there exactly? If the brain, when something malfunctions in the brain and there's a seizure, what's gone wrong? What principle was broken in the operation of the brain or the body? What happened there in a person's body? I want to understand this first in the body system so that it will be easier for me to understand this in the system of an individual with society. You ran quickly to explain this on the human level, but I want to understand it on the body level. Like with the heart, I understood properly that there needs to be balance between giving and receiving, that this is what it needs to happen inside the body. There needs to be order and harmony. And then when people will do this too, between them, they will have health and harmony and order. What happens in the brain? But really, it's not problems that happen inside the body system or the system of the blood vessels. It all comes from the brain commands. And then it comes down to the body in the hierarchy from the top down. Okay, so the brain is the head of all these processes. It's not even in the head. I already mentioned this. It's not even in the front, because our private brain is really only that which adapts or connects between us and the general system, because it operates in accordance with the commands from this general system. I don't exactly understand what is this general system, so first I want to understand what happens inside the body, and then you can talk about what happens with a person and society. So let's go back for a second to the body. There's the brain. It runs the systems of the body. That's right, Rob says. Okay, so is there a principle according to which it runs the body? According to the general need that is outside of him. According to what happens outside of the body? Yes, because we don't operate, whether we want to or not, it doesn't depend on us. We operate in general humanity outside of us. Okay, I'm Oren. Let's say I live in Petah Tikva. I have a body, I have a brain. So it starts here. The general society or humanity is too general. Okay, your brain receives commands from the general field in which we all live. No, I don't understand. What does this mean? Just like you receive orders on the phone or something, signals you receive. This is the way your brain is constantly connected to the general system. How? Through what systems? This doesn't happen through the cellular phone, so how? No, it's a system that is not, well, how will I put it? It's outside of our matter. It's just that we're in this one unified field. Here, we're beginning to exit the body, the person. You asked me, how does this upper system operate? The brain is the upper system. Inside a person, in the body. Yes, you have the different levels. The brain, the bones, the tendons, the meat, and the skin. So I'm telling you, this upper system will not function unless we won't understand it until we understand where it receives its commands from. And it receives them from a higher system. And then Oren asks, so where is my brain getting these commands from? It is getting commands even now? Yes, from the field that is around us of wisdom, of light, of the thought of creation. I don't understand. Let's say now I'm holding this pen and I have this cup in front of me. Say I'm doing this action, I'm taking this cup, and my hand moves. Before you said I'm going to move my hand, you got a command from above to do so. Who did this? This sounds mystical. Why mystical? Something that you can't grasp with your hand is mystical. No, I want to understand. You see, I have the boundaries of my body. The skin separates Oren from the surroundings. So I want to understand in this way. So we'll understand something because you're running ahead very quickly. So let's talk about the brain inside the body. Is there a principle according to which the brain runs the systems of my body, Oren's brain? How does it work? Is there a principle? The heart had the principle of balance between giving and receiving. I understood that. I understood that also it's worthwhile for me to do this in my life with others because then I'll be better off. So now we're talking about the brain. You said it's the highest system, the upper system, uppermost, even higher than the heart. So according to what principle does it operate correctly? It operates correctly when it's balanced with the general brain, the general mind. I can't, if it's an upper system, I can't escape here from something that exists above it, because that's where it receives its commands from, its orders. We've already reached the end. It's just like in quantum physics and all those systems in science. We've already reached the end where we already need to go past the boundary, and we are at the boundary with something that we have not researched yet, but we can research into there as well. If you want to research where your brain is connected to, why does a person receive a brain seizure? Why does he have that? What happened? Not why in a mystical way, but why technically? What's been broken? Technically, their blood pressure came to the blood vessels in the brain and they erupt and he gets a brain seizure. Did the heart cause this? So the heart caused it. You said the brain is higher than the heart. No, the commands, of course. Let's say you sprain your ankle, then it's not the leg itself, the foot itself that did it. It came from the upper commands of the brain. Yes, of course. Okay, so the brain gives the commands. Why does it have malfunctions? Because it's not connected correctly to the general brain, the general mind. The person is only a result from creation. If I sprain my ankle, it's because there is a problem in the upper system. Let's say you fell from some height and broke your leg. Where did this come from? From the commands that the brain gives to you through all the rest of the organs of the actions that you've performed. Why? Oh, go above and see why if you want to know the reason, the upper reason, the true reason. If you want to say that you don't, then maybe it's because there was something you slipped on. I didn't see something. You can find a lot of reasons of why it happened to you and why this way and not in a different way. 1,001 speculations and confusions. But all in all, the true reason is higher up in the hierarchy. It comes from the upper system. We're nearing the end. Let's talk a little bit more about the connection between the heart and mind. What is the law according to which the right relationship between the heart and mind happens? Well, there can be one system or a number of systems that are correctly connected between them if we, all in all, do not correct the connections between all systems. The single and the general are the same. This is a law that you cannot escape. That's why it's hard for me to relate to the human body as you wish me to do, just like in medicine. The leg hurts, so then it's something in the leg. And if it's something in the hand, it's something in the hand. No, we're talking here about systems. Systems is already something that it has nothing to do with the conventional medicine. Systems is holism. It's even more. It's spirituality already. The spirituality of a person, his thoughts, his role in the general system where all of us are tied together. This is where, and truly, we don't know the reason for any illness, the true reason, and therefore we need to finally rise above to the level of causes. And once we correct it there, we correct the reasons, the causes, we won't need any medicine. You'll be able to throw away all the medicines, all the technical utensils, because you'll have just one reason: the level of balance between who? Between everyone. The individual and the general are the same. This will give you your level of health.